says here it all started with a man named Andrew Jackson Davis when he began talking to the spirits over 150 years ago.
Andrew Jackson Davis is considered the pioneer of spiritualism because in 1844 he boldly predicts that the living will someday be able to communicate with the dead.
Jackson's vision comes true in 1848. Two young girls from upstate New York, the Fox sisters, start communicating with a man who was allegedly murdered and buried in their house before they moved in. He talks by tapping out a sort of Morse code. In the 1850s, the Fox sisters become famous performing seances across America.
By 1870, they've helped inspire 1 million people to join the spiritualist movement.
But the talking to the dead craze crashes down in the 1880s when the Fox sisters are accused of fraud, and one of them even admits to making the tapping noises with a double-jointed toe.
Today, the spiritualist movement can only claim a fraction of the number of members it had at the turn of the 20th century. There are still enclaves located around America, however, where the movement's strong.
Hey, I found a place like that. You know where it is?
Let me guess. Florida.
Cassadaga, Florida. We're going to go see if the spiritualist movement is still alive and well in the 21st century. Ready to roll?
Let's go, Houdini.
Okay.
After landing in Florida, we hightail it to the town of Cassadaga.
At first glance, this seems a quaint little town off the beaten path, but soon we see what we came for. For the past 110 years, the dead have been mingling with the living in Cassadaga. Today, our guide is... wait, I think I'm having a vision.
I am certified medium, Lawrence Damasio.
Hello,
Lawrence.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Mark and Mark.
Mark, how are you? We've been reading a lot about Cassadaga.
Well, it's great that you're here.
Well, what is Cassadaga exactly? How did it all get started?
Basically, back in the 1870s, George P. Colby had a vision, and he kept getting information to come to Florida from upstate New York, Cassadaga, New York.
George Colby is a member of the spiritualist movement of the late 19th century.
Colby is also a medium, someone who claims they can communicate directly with the dead.
In 1874, during one of Colby's conversations with the dead, he apparently gets a real estate tip. Go south, a spirit tells him. Down. And that's when Colby leaves New York to settle here in Florida.
His fellow spiritualists soon follow, and in 1894, Colby officially calls the town Cassadaga, after the spiritualist community he left in upstate New York. Today, most of the town's original homes still stand. And although they've changed hands through the years, Lawrence says that some of the long-dead residents are still hanging around.
Lawrence tells one ghost story about a tenant of this boarding house who receives a nosy, uninvited guest.
And I says, what happened, Harry? He says, well, there's a woman that wears this white shirt, and she looks like she's from the 1800s, and every night as I fall asleep, she gets right in my face, and she wakes me up. I says, well, she's just checking you out.
I'm going to take care of you.
Remember, Cassadaga was founded by people who believe they can communicate with the dead. So who's to say their bond with the spirits isn't for real?
Lawrence shows us the likely source of Cassadaga's spirit magnetism, a swampy bog that's said to have cured town founder George Colby's tuberculosis.
It's called Spirit Pond, and Cassadagans consider it a portal between the worlds of the living and the dead. Lawrence says spiritualists even spread their ashes here after cremation.
It's a really good spot to catch paranormal activity take place down here.
So in other words, the town, it seems to have just spirits all around the place. I mean, I think if I ever saw a spirit or a ghost, I would be a little afraid, but you guys just seem to say hello to them as you walk down the street.
We go, cool, did you see that? We do. We love this stuff. That's why we're here.
At this point, we want to see some of this paranormal stuff with our own two eyes.
So, lucky for us, we've been invited to a seance where, hopefully, we'll learn how to channel some spirits.
So can people really communicate with the dead?
To find out, we've traveled to the spiritualist community of Cassadaga, Florida, where we've been granted access to film the religious rite of spiritualism known as the Seance.
Tonight, our guide to the other side is Reverend Jim Watson.
We've never been to a seance
So
before.
this is something that we do on a regular basis, and it involves the very core of the religion of spiritualism, and which is communication with people who have crossed over. This is a very, very old form in the way that we perform this. This is a way they've done it back since the 1840s.
So what do you think's going to happen?
Well, that's the beauty of it. Anything can happen, you know, and it usually does.
Well, great. Let's go see.
Let's go see what's going to happen.
That table starts moving, I'm out of there.
My original teacher, we were doing, people that are... Okay, guys, this is where it all happens. This is our seance room in the temple.
Wow, looks just like I imagined it.
Hello, folks. How do y'all do?
Welcome.
This is our first time, so be gentle.
Two of the mediums here have been channeling with the dead for 20 years. They are Nick Serrant and Jean Serrant. They've already performed over 1,000 seances together with the others, which means we got Cassadaga's starting lineup.
I know you guys aren't shy.
They're coming.
Thank you, sir.
You know, come on.
Feel all tingling.
They are not shy.
Seances are usually performed in pitch black, but in order to film this, Jim and the others agreed to let us use red lighting.
We asked our guides and our teachers.
But as the minutes pass without a response, I'm starting to think that without the veil of darkness, mediums can't do their thing.
Then, suddenly, the table starts to move.
There it is.
Throughout the history of the seance, a moving table has always meant a spirit is present and wants to speak.
All right, guys.
Some believe table movement dates all the way back to the Byzantine Empire, but it was popularized in the mid-19th century by the famous Fox sisters.
As if to prove beyond a doubt that a spirit's here, the table shakes and tilts.
No legs.
And sometimes tables even levitate.
Let's see you levitate it. You lose touch with it, guys.
Falls back down.
Work with it.
I don't think we'll achieve liftoff tonight. But what's making this table move? Is it really the spirits, or just some sticky fingers?
Very pleased.
I don't see anyone playing tricks, but then, as if things weren't weird enough, it seems a spirit is using the group to try and speak.
Are you one of my relatives?
Okay. There's a yes. All right. Now we play the 20 questions.
Are you my father?
No.
Darn, I wanted to ask him if there was beer in heaven. Madeline? Doris? I hope not.
You shouldn't have said that.
Did yours go out pretty fast?
Yes.
Yeah. I felt that this person went out rather quickly, and she had to have time before she realized she was not in a physical body.
Actually, she was due to get her hair done the day before she died.
Okay.
It's hot in here.
Yes, I see energy.
That's it.
And she is all right now. She's all right, and she realizes
Trying to run away
that
again.
she's not in a physical body, and it's okay with her.
Hey, Doris, is there beer in heaven?
Ask your father. You want it, there is.
Okay, now things are way out of hand. I really can't believe this.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. And that shaky table? Come on, I've seen better table tricks in a Jersey bar.
So we thought, are we the only doubters? No. In the 1920s, the great Harry Houdini was attracted to spiritualism as a means to communicate with his dead mother.
But Houdini wasn't the kind of guy you want to con. During the seance, he witnessed deceptive sleight of hand that could be used to play upon people's emotions.
So Houdini made it his personal mission to debunk hucksters who used the spiritualism movement as a means to make a buck.